Probably put it under back when you were in 5th grade or 6th grade, or even 7th grade, you called this adding fractions. The rational expression is anything that can be written as a fraction. And really, it helps us to go back. Let's go back to the olden days of adding and subtracting fractions. Let's just do this. What if I'm adding, let's do this. What if I add 3/4 plus, I don't know, 5/8? Let's jot down the fundamental rules of this, which would be what? First, Landon says,
They have to have the same denominator.
nope. Gosh, I thought for sure somebody was going to get this.
Oh.
This is more my rule than anybody else's. Brooke? Yeah, put it up and down. When you get out of this prison, you will be able to probably not have to do that, but for me, you will do it every time. Now, Landon, step number 2,
You have to have the same denominator.
which we call common denominators. Step number 3, add or subtract the top. And keep bottom same. What?
Your father should say.
Claire, are you singing along or no? And number 4 is simplify. And then let's actually do that, because you need to see this. So, actually doing that out, just so you can see the whole process. 3/4 plus 5/8. Common denominator is 8. You multiply by this by 1, it stayed the same, so the top stays the same. You multiply this by 2, multiply that by 2, you get 6/8, 6/8 and 5/8, 11/8, and you would change that to 1 and 3/8. And everybody's happy, right? Somebody asked why in the world we did that. Because life isn't always that simple. Check out this problem here. 2h to the 4th over 6h. 2h to the 4th over 6h plus 4h squared over 2h squared. Wait, that doesn't make sense, does it? Is that the problem they actually gave us? Yep, that's it. We'll just write it the way it is, 2h squared. Okay, people get all way out of whatever because this has letters and numbers and things in the denominator and this didn't, but you follow the same exact process and the same rules. So you do the same thing. First step, write it up and down just because I told you to, no other reason, plus 4h squared over 2h squared. Here is where the great difficulty comes. What is the least, well, what is the common denominator, which is really the least common multiple, which we've talked about before. If you have 6h and 2h squared, what is the least common multiple of those?
2.
No, 2 doesn't go into 6. You're looking, you told me the greatest common factor, I want the least common multiple. And if you forgot what we did when we did that, the way we did that back in the day, and you don't have to do this, but this is one way to think about it. You prime factorize this. That's 2 times 3 times h. This is 2 times h times h. Which group has the most 2's? They both have 1, 2. Which group has the most 3's? This one has 1, 3. Which one has the most h's? This one, which is 2. Your least common multiple is 6h squared. 6h squared. 6h squared. See, if I would have made this a 2, what do I multiply 6 by to get 2?
H.
Well, you actually have to divide it by, you multiply by a third, but you can't. What? 6 times h is not 2.
No, wait, what? Wait.
I'm saying if somebody said 2 was my least common multiple, if I would have put a 2 there, well, how do I go from 6 to 2? You can't. You can't, but it gets really complicated. So your least common denominator is 6h squared, and you do the same thing. To go from 2h squared to 6h squared, you have to multiply by somebody? 3, so you multiply the top by 3. 4 times 3 is 12h squared. What times 6h gives you 6h squared? What am I missing? Shout it out, somebody. H.
That's what I thought you were asking.
So you multiply the top by h and you get 2h to the 5th. Now when you add them together, what happens? Well, you keep the same bottom number. 6h squared stays on the bottom. On top, can I put 2h to the 5th and add 12h squared to it? You can't. So you write it out like this, 2h to the 5th plus 12h squared. But, unfortunately, that is the answer, it's just not simplified. How do I simplify that?
You take an H out.
And what else can I take out of the top? I need to make the top factors, because the only way this will cross off with something right now as it is, it would have to be a 2h to the 5th plus 12h squared, and there's certainly not that down there. So if you make it factors, David, I'm going to take out a, no, I can't take 6 out of 2. I'm going to take a 2 and an h squared out. So if I take 2h squared out, I'm left with h to the 3rd, sorry, I had to write over that, but I don't have any room left, plus 6. Correct? And now, h squared is a factor, it crosses off with the h squared there. 2 can cross into the 6 and give you a 3 on the bottom. So your answer, when all of the smoke clears, is h to the 3rd plus 6 over 3. Why can't I cross the 3 off with the 6? Because they're not factors, they're addends. Does that make any sense? Because it's about to get real here in a second, Stritzel. Luzo, you good with that? Atkins? We need something for reinforcement? Yes, we do. All right, write this one down. I think you'll like this. Not very much, but I think you'll like it. Check this one out. X plus 3 over x minus 4. By the way, I would very much strongly suggest you use big graph paper for this one, because these get a little, overbearing at times. 2x squared plus x minus 20. Anybody got an answer yet? No. Step number 1. To do it, what do I gotta do? Up and down. Now here's where things get a little dicey here. What is my least common multiple or common denominator? Claire Margot, what do you think? Any ideas, strategies, thoughts? Now, let me just throw this at you. Anytime you see a trinomial, something in your mind should click that says, what? Can I factor that? Because, if I can, what times what gives me this? What times what gives me minus 20 and plus 1? Thank you. And I need to make this a plus 5 and that a minus 4. Now, David, if I'm looking for the least common multiple, what is it? Remember, you prime factorize both of them, which I now have. There's no way I can split this anymore, those are split. Look at each factor. Which group has the most x minus 4s? They both have 1, so I take 1 x minus 4. Which group has the most x plus 5s? This one, it has 1, so I take 1 x plus 5. This is your least common multiple. Got it? So, what am I missing here? What do I have to multiply x minus 4 by to get x minus 4 times x plus 5?
X plus 5.
You guys are better than I give you credit for. Now, so I have to multiply the top by x plus 5. Well, guess what that is? That's a binomial times a binomial, which is going to give me a, that's even talking math, which gives me what? Anybody? X squared plus 8x plus 15. Do I have to go do that slowly? It's FOIL, first terms, the sum of the two middle terms, last term. Yay? What am I missing down here?
Nothing.
Nothing. So what do I multiply the top by? 1. Now here's where you have to be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Always, always, always watch out for this. That's a minus sign, which means this isn't really a positive 2, it's a negative 2. Bingo? What?
What's his name?
What's his name?
What's his name?
Oh, was his name? Oh, I would have laughed heartily if I would have caught that the first time. So keep the same bottom. X minus 4 times x plus 5, that's my bottom, it stays the same. When I add the top together, what do I get? X squared plus 8x, and I can put 15 minus 2 together to give me 13. And now you have to look, can I simplify that?
Yes.
Really, I can't, what can I do? You would have to look and see, could you factor this into something that might give you one of those two? Maybe, but unfortunately, what times what gives you 13? There's only one option there. And is there any way to get 8 with 13 and 1? No, so you can't factor the top and the bottom. You can just leave it unmultiplied, or if you wanted to multiply it all over again, you could leave it like that. I don't think the book cares. On bottom, you get x squared, what, plus 1x minus 20. Doesn't that just make you want to do another problem?
Yeah.
You want to try this on your own?
Sure.
Yes. Here, let's go one more. Uno más. Uno más. How about this one? I'll take this one right out of the book. By the way, this does simplify a little bit, so unlike the last one, x over x plus 3, I think it's minus 3 over x squared plus 5x plus 6. That doesn't sound right, I'm gonna look at that again. Yes, that is correct. Ready? Get set. Go. Can we grab the Jeopardy music, please? That helps with words. Would it help if Elvis was singing it?
Sure.
Help if the numbers are bigger.
An hour.
Oh, an hour of Jeopardy think music. We should have done that. Goes for an hour and 18 seconds.
It's clickbait.
Let's see how soft and soothing it is. Oh, I thought it already was. Wait, do we have an answer yet?
No.
I'll give you a clue, you should end up with a binomial over a binomial. Look at David. This is a trumpet or a cornet? That's a little high to be a trumpet. Is it just the same loop over and over again? Really get small screen. I think this will probably help you. No, it's not so. Where do I put to get the small screen? This one. We're just gonna keep playing every time I touch my screen. No. Lest we run out of time, children. You done? All right. Huh? You are lost. You are assuming everybody got to the point where they factor this into what? X plus 3, x plus 2, right? And this is already x plus 3, so we're good there. The real question at hand is, what is your common denominator, Claire Marco? X plus 3 times x plus 2. X. Hopefully everybody got to that point. Now, what's missing here? What do I have to multiply this by to get that? X plus 2. So I have to multiply the top by x plus 2. It's distributive property. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. This is already what it is, times 1. So times 1, don't forget this. I'm going to give it another shot, Logan. I don't know what I said.
You said bingo.
Bingo.
What's this new?
Well, you made it. So there's your minus 3. Then when you put them all together, it's x squared plus 2x minus 3 over x plus 3 times x plus 2. And you have to check to see if you can simplify it. Does the top factor? It looks like it does. What times what gives you negative 3 when adding together positive 2? X plus 3 times x minus 1. Which would mean you've got common factors top, bottom, cross off, leaving you with x minus 1 over x plus 2. How many of you got at least relatively close to that? And if you didn't, how many of you know kind of where you slightly went astray? So Colin, nothing? 0, zip, zilch? You what? Where did you stray? Alright, this is taking way too long.